Orange County Registered Digital.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome to our OCVarsity.com Gridiron Show. Steve Fryer here with Dan Albano. Carlos Arias is not here. I think there's a big sale on Spider-Man shirts at Target, so Carlos had to be there for that. Dan, we're here at Mater Dei High School. The Monarchs getting ready to play Servite in the annual huge game. That one's at Angel Stadium on Friday. We'll have some details on that here at OCVarsity.com on our OCVarsity Gridiron Extra program. Dan, it is time to start league play in all the 5 and 6 team leagues, including the Trinity League. 4 of the 6 teams in the Trinity League are on the state top 25. The way I got it kind of shaken out, Dan, is I got Bosco 1, I got Mater Dei 2, and I don't know who's number 3. What do you think?
Number 3. You know, this is such a terrific league, and
yeah.
Dave White was telling me before the Edison Mater Dei game a couple weeks ago that there really is not a weak team in the Trinity League. But I guess the team I would have to look at right now, and I have to say Servite's going to have to be there in the top 3 somewhere.
Okay.
You know, when you can beat Long Beach Poly, and you can be so convincing against Edison, if you're going to do a top 3 in the Trinity League, Servite's got to be there somewhere.
You talked about Dave White and Edison. That Sunset League, to me, Dan, looks about as balanced as we've seen it in a few years. Marina's probably a little bit behind the rest of the group, but gosh darn, the other 5 teams, Newport Harbor, Huntington Beach, Fountain Valley, Edison, Los Al, all pretty good teams. Who's the best team in that league?
Well, you're right. It's very balanced this year. There's not a super team out of the Sunset League that you can say is kind of looking like they are this, a Southwest Division champion. But I still think Edison is the best team. I don't know if the rest of Sunset League has that kind of, has a defensive line to stand up to the ground and pound that Edison is going to eventually deliver with that, those huge offensive linemen. But, there's some really good teams. They're going to have some tight games this year. No blowouts, I think, in the Sunset League.
Dan, does anybody give Mission Viejo a run in the South Coast League?
Probably not. To be honest, I would say right now as we're speaking, I don't think, we'll see how Trabuco Hills can come out. I mean, they had a tough go against a Jay Serra team that has a lot of athletes. El Toro and, Trey Tinsley, they're throwing the ball all over the place. It's going to be a tough go if Trabuco's going to, challenge Mission Viejo.
Skipping around to some of the other leagues, Dan, we got some other good league openers coming up. Westminster and Segerstrom in the Golden West League on Thursday. That might decide that league championship over there. In the Century League, gosh, Foothill last week beating Villa Park. Man, that puts them in the front of that race right there. But El Dorado, I saw El Dorado play. Good team, physical team, got some quick guys. They're looking pretty sharp. And then, moving over to the Freeway League, I don't know if this is the surprise team in all of county football, a team you've been high on from the beginning, Dan Albano. Fullerton High School. They're playing host to La Habra this week. La Habra, hands down the league favorite, but Fullerton, my gosh, 5-0 and looking pretty good.
Yeah, Indians, they've had, they're playing without Coach Smilowitz, who's we hear is still on the administrative leave. And, Scott Lloyd throwing it around very well, not making any mistakes. I still don't think this is the game for Fullerton. I think La Habra is going to win this game. Okay. Toa Lomba, the USC commit, is going to make his debut, his long-anticipated debut. He's been ineligible all year from, his hardship got denied after his transfer from Lakewood. So he's going to be out there at left tackle, and they're going to have too much size for the Indians. But for Fullerton, the great games for them are, I want to see him play Buena Park. Yeah. I want to see him play Troy. Mm-hmm. And they have a chance, I think, to maybe get second in the league. But I think Buena Park's going to be really good, and I think Troy's really good.
Well, that's a big game. A lot of big games, including Servite Mater Dei. Check elsewhere here at OCVarsity.com for our OCVarsity Gridiron Extra show, looking in a lot of specifics at the Servite Mater Dei game. Well, thank you to our expert producer and director, Jonathan Khamis, behind the camera there, Dan. And thank you to everybody there at OCVarsity.com. Viewership, we've got you covered.
Orange County Register. We are here in the service of Orange County.